Doug MPA back on another video. So we all know that Joe Biden's student loan debt forgiveness program was shut down by the Supreme Court, and a lot of people are mad about that because everyone wanted a way out instead of having to pay for their loans. And we also know that women own 70% of the student loan debt. Okay. Well, there are men. The other 30% are men like this guy. He has more degrees than a thermometer. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. And he has $150,000 in student loan debt and has no idea what he's going to do to pay it off. Okay. So we're going to listen to what this guy has to say about the student loan debt forgiveness program getting struck down, because it's good to hear both sides. Once again, women make a lot of mistakes about this, but guys, some of your friends are doing the same thing. Before I get into this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows he support me and what I'm doing over here. And let's see what this guy has to say about his student loans.
Jonathan McGee, a graduate. He got his undergrad from Western Illinois University, his master's from Georgetown University, and his MBA from Loyola. He got a lot of degrees.
Okay, so a bachelor's degree, and then a master's degree from Loyola, and then I think he said George Washington University for his first master's degree. Guys, I can tell you, I live in the DC area. George Washington University is expensive. It's one of the most expensive schools I've ever seen.
Degrees, brother. Listen, I want to ask you
George
here.
Washington too.
Gotcha. Well, look, you've been following this closely. You heard today's ruling. I mean, how does this decision personally affect you?
Well, as someone, Alex, with significant student loan debt, over $150,000 in student loan debt, I was looking for this lifeline, quite frankly.
There it is. Looking for help. All this knowledge, and you need a lifeline. And guys, just so you guys know, I have an undergrad and a master's degree. I'm from the West Coast. I went to 2 state schools. I worked 2 jobs, an undergrad and graduate degree, and I have almost no debt. So I don't feel bad if it seems like I'm harsh on these men and women who have a bunch of debt. I am harsh because I had to make some serious decisions when I was young. Everyone else was pledging and doing Alpha Psi Kappa and all this stuff. I had to go to work. I know a lot of people that should have been working a second job or working a job instead of hanging out in the dorms all day and, doing all this extracurricular stuff on campus. So yes, I'm harsh on these people, and I'm going to keep it up too.
I work every day, but with the economic conditions, with inflation, it was something that I looked forward to. I've worked in the public sector. I've tried to get the public service loan forgiveness, and quite frankly, higher education is just too expensive. And so, it's a bill that I've considered now a bill for life, and that shouldn't be the case.
But once you sign those promissory notes, you got to pay them off. You know that. You have to sign on the dotted line. And this is showing a failure in our society, that we've gone away from that. You could see all these cars getting repoed, people getting evicted from their homes and mortgages, and all these people will sign on a dotted line with no intention of paying it back. And that's why so many women are in so much student loan debt.
Well, and look, I mean, this also comes on the heels of that affirmative action decision. I'm curious. I mean, do you think that race played a role in your admission as an undergrad, or as you were working towards your MBA?
Alex, I've gone to 3 predominantly white institutions, and most of them had small populations of students of color, especially Black people. So I'd be crazy not to think that it played a factor. And in many cases, those obstacles would have been there if we didn't have an affirmative action policy in place.
See, let me speak about that real quick. I come from Western Washington State, okay? I went to 2 predominantly white institutions too, and I don't think that affirmative action played any role in me getting into the schools I got to. I had to work hard to get to where I am. That's why I don't think that affirmative action going away is a bad thing. Guys, you know that affirmative action has helped more white women than any other group. Affirmative action going away is a win for us men, guys. I'm happy to see it go away. And all these women are going to have to work like everybody else, like you, me, guys, to get to where they want to go.
This is devastating. I got a little brother, I got a little sister, who all want to go to college and be in college. And
they can make it through merit.
We know that education is the key economic driver for opportunity. And so, my mom's an educator. We all love higher education in college. And it's unfortunate that it's not only cost prohibitive, but now race can play a role in whether you'll be admitted into a university of your choice.
If your mom was an educator, she should have educated you on the finance literacy of your student loans before you racked up $150,000 in debt. How about that?
Switching gears back to the student loan relief, what's your payment strategy going forward to pay off this debt?
Yeah, he doesn't have one.
That's a great question, Alex. I think for me, of course, trying to budget and figure out how to implement this new bill because we've been having relief for the last 2 years. Thinking about investment strategies, I've started to think about ways that I can put money in the stock market and 401ks and high interest accounts and maybe try to use that interest to bring it down. But the fact of the matter is Alex, when you owe as much as I do, the interest alone is just going to continue to keep you in debt, right? And that impacts whether I can buy a house, whether I can buy a car. And again, it feels like this burden that is very hard to get rid of, no matter how much money you make, right? So that's my strategy. I don't know how great it is, but of course, also looking at my employer and trying to figure out if there's any options there.
Yeah,
guys, I said it before. I'll say it again. And you know what? I'm equal opportunity, ladies, men and women watching this. Someone's debt should be a disqualifier for consideration for a serious relationship or marriage. Okay, guys, if you are dating a girl and you find out that she has over $100,000 in student loan debt, or ladies, if you see a guy like this and you find out he has $150,000 in student loan debt, get up, pay your bill, pay your half of the bill and leave. It is a burden, and it's your burden to bear alone. There's no reason why this guy should marry a woman and force that woman to have to pay for his debt. That would be unfair.
Well, and Jonathan, I mean, you highlighted this earlier. I mean, you come from a family of educators. I mean, you've got siblings. But, I mean, how important is education to you? And, I mean, do you think the education's worth the cost?
The education is very valuable. It's the reason why I've seen the success that I've seen today. We know as Black people in America, you already have significant barriers. And education is the way to break those barriers. And for me, it's very tough to see an environment where, I could be successful economically, socially, and professionally if I did not get a chance to go to Loyola and get my MBA in business. If I didn't get a chance to go to Washington and get my degree at George Washington. And quite frankly, I found my passion at Western Illinois University 4 hours outside of Chicago.
I wonder what his degrees are in, man. I guarantee you, because he went back and got an MBA. Okay. So it seems to me like he went to West Illinois and then he went to George Washington and got degrees in some BS, probably typical stuff that women get their degree in. I guarantee he probably has a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in social work. I'll bet.
So it played a huge role in my success. And it's unfortunate that other young men of color like me are going to have to face additional barriers as a result of this ruling. It's unfortunate. It's devastating. And I think we need an act of Congress, quite frankly.
Well, as a man of color, I can tell you, guys, go to school for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And if you're not going to go for that, don't go to college as a young man. Get a trade, do something to make money, because all these educated people with degrees in BS are flooding the market. Men aren't going to college as much anymore, and they shouldn't, because we're cost-benefit calculators. So do something you can achieve on merit alone in this economy, guys. Avoid what this guy did.
Well, Jonathan, I appreciate you taking time to share your experience with us today.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Once again, there's a lot of guys making the same mistake that these women are making. Guys, stay away from a lot of debt, because especially student loan debt, you cannot put student loan debt in bankruptcy. It'll just hang around your neck. Okay. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.